Well, good morning. I am back with another video. It is 9:34 a.m. It is March 17th, and it's yeah, look, I think it's St. Patrick's Day. Okay, so some of you guys are going to be wearing green into the office, or at home, or doing something, and having a good time. And I hope that's wonderful. Anyway, so I am going to kind of share with you some of my thoughts that I had. Yesterday was one of those days where I'm processing a lot. I'm getting a lot of intuitive downloads, and I had mentioned, and I had did a special video for my newsletter, and I also did a video yesterday talking about this particular person that I've come to understand that was involved in my targeting, and a lot of other people's targeting, and about the human trafficking ring. And, because, this is a big deal to me because what other people trivialize, I mean, I realize the psychological and the legal implications of this whole issue when it first started. People really took this whole issue lightly. They didn't see it as a big deal until now. Okay, it's branched off into many different problems that affect a lot of people, and this was, I can't even, I can't, okay, when I look at it from a spiritual standpoint, I really do believe that this man was consumed with demons. I really do believe this. Okay, sometimes people are consumed with control because their lives are spinning out of control, and they want desperately to have some sort of sense of normalcy, but they try to correct the problem through other people. This person, this net worth billionaire, this net worth billionaire, if that's even the case anymore. But anyway, I felt as though I'm very disappointed in this person. And why? Because people want to admire other people. Okay, and like I said, I always thought well of this person, and I always kind of was happy for him because if this was truly what his accomplishment was, okay, and being the CEO of two different companies, and being with the way they spoke about this person, you thought that this person was living at large. And I don't know, but I will tell you net worth, because I understand, unless of course net worth does mean something and somebody was siphoning my money. Okay, that would not surprise me. This man had ideas and beliefs that were very destructive, and I understand that this person also had a lot of respect for the Nazi ideology. I was watching a video on Instagram because I spent a lot of time. I worked on my newsletter, and there's a lot of like date formatting in my newsletter this time around. And what I'm trying to say is it's a little different than my other newsletters, is because these revelations that I'm coming into, I'm putting the date on the newsletter. So like I'm writing the newsletter on one day, and the next day I'm starting over again with a different thought in my mind. So some of this is going to be throwing in the dates of when I'm coming to understand this. The reason why is because I understand that this person exiting off the earth, to me, is kind of a big deal. Okay, it's a very big deal. And like I said, I really did want to like this person. You know what I mean? I wanted to like this person. I wanted to have respect for this person. I never wanted to compete against this person or tear this person down. I was happy for this person to have those sort of accomplishments that he said that he had, but whatever. Anyway, going back to my my activity yesterday, I worked on my newsletter, and I think it's important for me to say that, I do miss Monday Merriment, and I realize how consistent I was with each episode. Now, I know it wasn't a big deal, but I know that a lot of people saw it, and I do understand that this man, and I'm going to call him a straight up archon at this point, okay? Archon, demiurge, whatever, okay? This dude was out of control. But I do know that he had a lot to do with the shadow banning of my my content, okay? I mean, who else would have the power to do that? You know, certainly not an air conditioning dude, and not some dude that just, you know, mans a farm. Somebody who is known as a, oh my God, gasp, you know, a billionaire in net worth. So anyway, yeah. So I know that my social media has been manipulated. So yesterday I was looking through Facebook, and I was also looking on Instagram in my little downtime between working on my projects. And you know, there was this girl. I don't remember her name. I do not subscribe to her, but if she puts out another video, I'm going to. Now, the way that I look at it when I follow somebody, if I see them twice in a row and they do something that really impressed me, I usually end up following them, okay? Because I don't know if they're all about stuff, or they're gonna, you know, if I'm gonna mesh with their personality or something. There's the reason why is because you want to be able to find content that you agree with, or you're connected to, or you follow. You have your preferences, whatever. Anyway, this girl, hopefully she does put out another video, because it looks like she got into something kind of a big issue. She was talking about an issue she had with her employer. Now, this girl was, I'm going to say she was probably maybe in her late 20s, maybe possibly early 30s. She was a white woman. I thought of her as rather attractive looking. She's a married woman. And she was basically saying that her boss was, I wish I could sum it up word for word, and unfortunately I cannot, and I don't even remember the name of their channel, but if I see her feed, I will definitely recognize her. She was talking about a problem that was going on in her workplace, and somebody's trying to, like, her boss was trying to encourage this idea of controlling their lives, controlling their preferences, controlling the things that they do outside of the workplace, okay? Now, I understand that a lot of bosses, okay, enjoy being the boss, because it gives them a sense of power. It gives them a sense of control, okay? And unfortunately, that is not the reason why people should be a boss, okay? What we're seeing right now, what she's experiencing, what she was terminated for, this is all political. And I would not be surprised if this guy was highly influenced by the main demon that was driving this entire thing. He had a lot of influence, okay? Now, what this particular thing that I guess, okay. I think she was talking about, she's into plays, and she's into books, and she's into whatever. This guy was accusing her of stepping outside the bounds of her religion, okay? I think he was accusing her of witchcraft, okay? And I think she was talking about Macbeth. I wish I could remember everything, because really this whole thing was like so offensive, because the reason why it was offensive is because this man is a tyrant, okay? And I would not be surprised if he was being influenced by this particular net worth billionaire. I'm going to just call him net worth billionaire, right? Okay, so anyway, the story pissed me off, and I'm on this girl's side 100%. It's just the fact that, you know, this is just another example of some employer stepping out of line. Okay, now, you know, people like Rex Laverne thinking that he had the right to dictate the sort of things that I produce outside of my work, trying to, like this girl, her interest in Macbeth or whatever, or Shakespeare or whatever, that is her personal choice. That is her right to enjoy that sort of entertainment. Now, this man might be coming at her with a standpoint, with a belief system that he adheres to, and now he thinks it's the law of the land. Once again, we're talking about instituting religion within the workplace. He was out of line. I hope he loses his job. I hope he loses his fucking job. Okay? And I think there was some sort of discussion about this guy talking to her saying, well, if my boss told me to do something, I would do it. Let me tell you, this is a slave mentality. It's a slave mentality. If you give up the very things that bring you joy to work for an employer, that is exactly what you are. You are nothing but a slave. Period. Period. Now, I can understand if they have like certain policies to where, like, something directly affects them. Okay. Like, for example, you can't drink alcohol on the job. That makes total sense. Why? Because there's going to be an accident. Okay. But this is why, companies should set their own cultures. Okay. Cultures that, like, for example, if his company is a Christian organization, then I can understand him having a problem with that, because it would make sense that that she should be Christian. Okay, but when people get hired, okay, when people get hired, here is what we're getting hired for. We want, let me see, hang on a second. I hope I'm sitting away from my computer right now, so I can't see if, okay, we get hired and we're doing a job. Okay, this is the only reason why we are here. We are here to do a job. We are here to get compensation. We're going to do the job and we get paid. It is not meant to be a political platform. And this is the reason why, we have this problem in the workplace. And I know that this particular demonic force, Mr. Net Worth billionaire, had a very skewed view of controlling people. And this could very well be the reason why he's got, all these damn kids with these women. He could have trapped them. I'm not saying that he did. I'm just saying, anything that relates to, how can I say this? This is your job. Okay. And when I go to work to perform a task. That's it. I am here to perform a task, and this is the only reason why people should be going to work. Okay. Some of these people, these men who do this sort of shit to women, and I'm going to say not just men. I'm going to say there are women bosses who do this, right? But I believe that this whole issue that was inspired by this demonic net worth billionaire was somehow trying to exercise some form of Nazism. This is what I believe, and I'm talking more about this in my newsletter. Okay. Trying to prevent. Now, I understand, I'm not a white woman, okay? And I do understand that programs like DEI and all these sort of special exception programs that were woven within the employment sector have always benefited white women, okay? But it seems like if this is, since this whole thing is going on, it seems like this was meant to trap a lot of white women and put them in positions of subordination to where they cannot protect themselves. Okay, so that's like like I said, this is like taking a shit in your water supply. Okay, now I understand it's very difficult for a lot of people to have empathy. Okay, it's very difficult for a lot of people to have empathy. Why? Because people are self-serving. This is the whole reason why I'm talking about psychology and law. Yes, we are self-serving. We have to survive. Our survival needs are always going to come first. Always. Okay, but the problem with it is that these survival needs, they want to, in order for these men to feel like they want to survive, they want to control the women. They want to control their women. Okay, and like I said, I'm not a white person, so I don't really feel as though it's my duty to say anything about the marital construct of, how white people conduct their marriages or whatever. I'm just saying it, but that's a problem. So now these white women, if they were to get into their DEI thing actually ended up backfiring on them, but white women could very well easily get abused and they will have nowhere to go. Okay, this was all fun and games when this Archon dude was sitting here playing this shit with me and then probably other people. And why the public sat here and watched and thought it was a form of entertainment. This is what this man did. Okay, this is Nazism playing out in your face. Okay, enslaving people. That's what it is. So, and I know that this group, like, my soul tribe, okay, which he's a part of. Okay, this is the reason why he has introduced himself into my life. This is a part of, if you think about it, this is really a part of the bloodline targeting that I'm talking about. Okay. Now he's one of these special people, and he felt as though, well, I don't want Maria to win, so I'm going to, cheat a little bit. I'm going to work behind the scenes and make sure her Patreon and make sure her Ko-fi fails. You know what I mean? I'm going to screw up her 9 to 5 world, and then I'm going to sit here and work, do illegal things or unethical things, behind the scenes with Patreon and Ko-fi. Okay, he had no right to. I don't care how much money he makes. He does not have any sort of title that allows him to do that. Okay, but this is what I'm telling people. Why people always want, the reason why he has pushed me into isolation, because he wanted to punish me for being an individual. Okay, there is no shame in being an individual. Number one, the reason why I'm an individual is because of this cloning situation from every life. Okay, because these people have abused me for very many years. Okay, being against my will, right? So I am not going to gravitate towards people who are going to abuse me. It just makes sense. Plus, I'm going to have a unique perspective. I don't have cultural ties. I don't have any of those things. So guess what? My means of survival is to develop into an individual. That is what made me stronger. Okay. Plus, if there are no individuals in the world, there's never going to be any discoveries. There's never going to be anybody ever stepping outside of the norm to make any sort of inventions, anything. So this man had thought it was okay to tease and bully me. And it was my individualism that figured all this shit out. Okay? I am proud to be able to say, I think for myself. I am proud to say that I make good choices. Okay? And it is just because a person chooses to be an individual, meaning I choose to do the things that bring me joy. Okay, that does not mean that I do not want to have friends. But I have to tell you, I have to be very selective about my friends. Okay, this man influenced a lot of people. And not only that, before he even walked on this earth, for how many other times he's been here, right? People have always, because this was a white supremacist issue, people have always painted me out to be like I'm a bad person. The problem with it is that people do not understand what a decent moral person is, because most people don't have any. This is where the Bible starts getting weird. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now. I was thinking about the scriptures, and I understand me as Solomon, okay, has contributed to this holy book that people read, and they claim that they are very interested in. I will tell you, the kids on the playground play an integral role in this biblical thing. Okay. So when I think about people talking about how all I'm going to say is, as kids on the playground, that Bible and everything that these so-called Christians are reading is because people like the kids on the playground gave this to you. Okay. So before people start like nitpicking and talking about, arguing and stuff like that, this is our story, basically. I really do believe that is a story, a bloodline battle. Okay, one that I'm not interested in playing in. And just by looking at the game so far, this is backfiring on them, and this is a bad idea. Okay, now I understand, this man wanted to preserve the right. That's so hard to say. The white race. Okay, initially. Now this man had regrets, because when we started talking, I really do believe that he felt bad. And I don't believe his spirit is now on the earth. And I've had sort of discussions with him. Now, I know this is very strange. This is all very strange. Okay? But this man felt very much remorse. But he also knew he was out of control. Okay? And this is why I'm talking about mental problems, mental issues. Okay? If we live in this platform of ignorance, and we live in an environment that is mainly ignorant, okay? Mainly ignorant, okay? And I hold a lot of these people who carry their 4-year degree, I'm holding them highly accountable, 100% accountable, right? Because they really aren't. And this brings up this whole issue about the Department of Education. The Department of Education, I know there was talk about, for a while, there was some talk about shutting. And see, I don't pay attention to the news, but I've been paying attention to the news just lately, only because my nerves have been on edge, okay? My nerves have been on edge because I realized that the kids in the playground, the main Mr. Net Worth millionaire, right, was a part of all of this, and it's been sucking me in, right? All of these people. Okay, so I'm just looking and seeing like various stories and reading them. And usually, most people knew that Maria was cut off from the world. Like I literally made a concerted effort never to have anything to do with news, what was going on in the news, what was going on, anything around me. Because somehow I must have known, possibly from my past lives, okay, and it just carried over to Maria Gordon, that a lot of stuff that goes on in the world is not good for me. It just isn't, okay? But now I'm looking at this situation and didn't realize that this man was involved. Okay, but now that I know, I can just imagine the kind of damage this man has done. This man was a out of control person. And the reason why I say that he fits both descriptions of a social and psychopath is because look at all the destruction he's causing. He sat there and just, continued his little charade. That's disturbing. It's very disturbing, okay? Lindsay, this is what I'm talking about, how people are mentally broken, or people who have, deep needs to have some sort of fulfillment, and that's their right to do this. But he should have sought other means to fulfill himself. Now, the whole goal in life is to achieve these goals, and achieve them the correct way, the right way, through hard work, through creativity, through whatever. It is not throwing people under the bus, using slander campaigns. And also, what I'm talking about is having a form of dependency. Dependency gets you nowhere in this world. Okay, now you don't have to be a lone wolf like me completely, but the fact of the matter is no one is going to pull your load, carry your load. Nobody can die or live for you. You have to do it yourself. And there's always people like him who have this collective mindset that intersects their negativity into other people. Like everybody is basically paying the price for the net worth billionaire self-hatred right now. That's the damn truth. This is why I'm telling you, people who like him, who have this sort of narcissistic and behavior, they will gamble with people's lives. I remember when I was younger, there was this kid. He was telling me that his family was from Korea, and he told me that I believe it was grandfather gambled away the family home. And I was in shock. I was like, oh my God, somebody would do that. Some people have a compulsion that is out of control. Okay, they have to win. And I do believe Mr. Net Worth Billionaire had these sort of problems, these sort of mental problems. Okay, and there are like I said, there's all kinds of mental problems in the world. And some people are born with them. Some people have inherited them just because we live in toxic environments. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Psychology, understanding these sort of things. And people like him have no place in our government. Okay, so I'm glad that he was taken out. I'm very glad. Okay, and you guys should be glad too. Why? Because we're preserving our freedom. This dude was a tyrant. Okay, and because he didn't care about any other these companies that he led into this sort of destruction. This was his big grand plan, his whole idea, all of it. You know what I mean? And it's sad, it's shocking. Now, and going back to the tyrannical bosses. See, I want to work for a company. What makes me angry and what makes this slavery is because, as an individual, as anybody, and I'm talking about everybody here is responsible for where they're going to end up later on in life. And I know a lot of people, they don't ever try to plan for the future. People think I don't think about these things. I knew when I was growing up, okay, that people have to take care of themselves. When you get a certain age, you better start saving up for retirement. You better, I never thought, okay, I need somebody to, I kind of knew about Social Security. I understand what it's there for, okay? But I knew that I'm going to have more of the Social Security than that. And I didn't really have anyone to share my concerns with, my plans with, the things that I need to do. But I knew that I needed to do them. So I've always tried to devise some sort of plan, understand what I have to work with, and do something for myself. See, the thing is, because Mr. Net Worth Billionaire is basically enslaving the American people with his stupid bullshit, okay, it prevents people from being able to make plans that they have the right to do. I have the right to make a plan. I have the right to sit here and try to create my own business, to also try to get something on social media, to try to do something for myself. This is what you're supposed to do. I am not ashamed of that. I'm somebody who takes full responsibility for my life, as you should. Okay? And here's somebody, Mr. Net Worth Billionaire, that's the only title that he has, or the CEO of 2 companies or whatever, and he has these grandiose, this is another mental issue, grandiose views or grandiose ideas. It's that grandiose ideas and thoughts and thinking that this man thought that he was above the law. Okay? This man was a threat to society. And he needed to be stopped. He needed to be stopped. Okay, and the sad part is I think it's sad, and I also think it's beautiful because he stopped himself. He stopped himself. He knew. When he left, he knew. He knew he was wrong. Okay, and luckily he did know that, but he was wrong. Okay, and this is part of the reason why I forgive him. Because believe me, there's some assholes who leave this world still having an issue and still wanting to play the game. Till the very end, even in death. They still want to sit there and these are the kind of weird spirits that come back in forms of like flies and shit. These flies, these disembodied spirits, still just wanting to have their last say. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, I am not going to make an apology for who I am. Okay? I am not going to sit here and apologize to fake Christian people, especially when you put this in context that people would not even have their Bible if it wasn't for the kids on the playground. That's just the way it is, okay? And if you can't wrap your mind around that, I don't know what else to tell you, okay? It is what it is. So, I wish I could remember that girl's name. Hopefully her video will dance across my Instagram again, and because I hope she's going to follow up on her story, okay? Because the story that she was talking about really pissed me off. Because, like I said, I've dealt with these people who are in business for the wrong reasons, okay? If I was to have a business, which this is what I wanted to do, I made my Patreon. That's kind of your own business, right? But I should have had this man had no right to block me from any sort of from any sort of work that I wanted to do. This man literally tried to put you into me into a form of human trafficking and slavery. That's what it is. Oh, Maria, I'm not going to allow her to do that. She can't do that. She can't do that. Yes, I can. He just didn't want me to have any more net worth than him. That is ridiculous. Okay. He took it too far. But see, the thing that bothers me about businesses and the places that I work, as a 54-year-old woman, okay, I am wanting to work for a company because, here's the thing. I want to work for a company that either, because they take away your choices, I couldn't make any money on Patreon, which I should have made a shitload of money, okay? Couldn't make any money on Patreon, right? So how am I going to deal with my retirement? Who is going to take care of me at 54 years old? And retirement age is coming up, okay? So now I'm put in a position, well, okay, fine, I'm going to be old, and I'll probably have to work for the rest of my life. And is that fair? Is it fair? No, it is not fair, okay? But going back to the employer, it's like, okay, well, I'm 54. What pissed me off over at Rex Place is that I'm 54 years old, okay? And I realized, this is before I knew that he was, an asshole, okay? I'm trying to make sure that the company is, I wanted to, I was hoping that the company was serious about increasing their sales. I was hoping that the company cared about these sort of things because I need some sort of form of retirement. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, it was a sucky company. It was the sales were increasing. Okay, they were increasing. I know that they were. If you compare the years, or this particular time period, it looks as though they did better than they did last year around this time. Now this was winter, mind you. Of course, not fall and winter. So, uh, but still, I mean, what do people like me do in situations like this? You know what I mean? You put me in companies. You don't give me the right to choose a company, or either put me in a company that's shitty, right? Or put me in a situation where I don't have any control or any say about productivity or the improvement of the company. I just have to sit here and deal. I'm at the mercy of a sinking company. Do you see what I'm saying? Where I could be working for a company that's, or striving to help a company increase its sales, be better, so that, I could at least try to ensure my nest egg. But really, in reality, it would have been better had I made the money on Patreon or something like that. Okay. I was constantly being put at a disadvantage, and he had no right to block me. What he was doing was completely political. It was tyrannical, okay? And this man was the ultimate to me in demonic. And the sad part is, like I said, I wanted to like this guy. I really did. We were talking, we were communicating for a few weeks. And before that, the month before that, I think we were in communication, okay? Like I said, there's a lot of imposters, okay? But I do recall, I'm just going to mention this really quick before I wrap up this video. I do recall, him asking me to be a part of, I think it's like Bitcoin or something, or some sort of currency thingy. We were talking about my retirement or whatever, and he was basically saying that if I was to invest 1,000, I can get back 2,000, and I kept thinking, does this man understand the monetary system? Now, don't get me wrong, I have never heard of. Okay, I have worked in accounting for several years, okay? And I do recall, studying about investments and stuff, like finance type stuff, okay? And even though I've studied it, I myself have never had any working knowledge of it. Like, how you invest in stuff and you watch your money grow, and you fully understand the process, not just from a textbook, but from the actual ebb and flow of engaging in these sort of activities, right? I have never been able to do that, okay? So, but I do know that it's usually unlikely to get that sort of return on your investment that rapidly. Okay, so I wasn't really believing his bullshit. So it scares me. If this guy was who he says he was, it scares me because I do not believe he understands the monetary system, which is freaking me the fuck out. Okay, now you would think, how in the world could somebody not understand the monetary system? Here's what I think. I think some of these clones have literally been set in a situation where they may have been abused and maybe have been never had any access or any use with money, so they don't know. Like people I had talked about before. I have talked to some of these celebrities, and they give off the vibe as like they work for the circus or something. Now, I'm not saying all of them are like this. I'm just saying he just came across to me as somebody who was rather naive about these sort of things, and naive enough to kind of make me nervous and scared. Okay, I do believe that there's a lot of people who are clones who have been used and sheltered to the point of where they really do not have any idea of money or things that we take for granted. Okay. So whatever, that whole situation was very uncomfortable to me, and it bothered me that somebody would try to pull the wool over my eyes. Like I said, I've never really invested or anything like that, but I do know that it's not likely to make that kind of return that rapidly. It just it just seemed like, kind of bullshit to me. Anyway, but yeah, that is it. I think what companies need to focus on is forget their personal problems, your personal problems, and this need to control and focus on becoming making businesses here in the United States number one again. Like people who let the United States stand for new inventions. Let the United States come up and be the leader in certain industries instead of these stupid political games. If I was to have a business, my biggest concern would be being number one in sales, being the best company of whatever product or service that I'm providing. That's exactly what it is. I am not interested in anything else. And I'm tired of working for companies that have no real vision. Because if you're sitting here doing that, trying to play your political game, and because no one likes you, you can't find a wife, you're miserable, you have, you whatever, and you're sitting here acting this out in a place of business, I don't have time for you. I really don't. I do not have time for you. I'm sick and damn tired of people with their problems. Okay, and I'm sick. These problems and these stupid games are played out in the workplace so much that I do not have a whole lot of hope for the American businesses in general because they trivialize this sort of stuff. Okay, I really do feel like the United States needs to pick themselves up. We're no longer the number one anything really. Okay, so it's like if I was a business, I would be focusing on my productions, my service, and then I would be wanting to make shitloads of sales. And that's what I want to do. I want to work for a real company. That's what I want. I want to work for a real company. Instead of, I want to sit here and literally play the bullshit game. You know what I mean? They have problems getting a married partner, so they want to sit here and try to manipulate people. That's not my fucking problem. Okay, a business license is not a marriage license. Okay, you want to, the fair exchange working for an employer is you pay me for either my skill, my experience, my talent for the 8 hours that I sit there, and you give me my money as compensation, and that's the only fucking deal that we have. You don't own my shit. And see, that disappoints a lot of business owners. You know why? Because they were in it for that reason in the first place. They want to live this sort of life. That's fine, okay? So that's your little culture. That's fine. You can do that. Mind you, I'm going to tell you right now, your employees are miserable. Okay, we have a problem here. We really do have a problem here. So anyway, back to the work search. I'm not going to be looking for work this week. I did talk to a headhunter. I sent her my resume, and we'll see what happens. I will resume looking for work on Saturday. I only look for work once a week. I find the whole thing very disturbing, mainly because I have to deal with a lot of unprofessional people. Okay? Very unprofessional people. I am somebody who is serious, 100% serious about my career. 100%. Okay? And I'm tired of dealing with companies that are not. Okay? I really thought working for Rex Laverne was pathetic. He was pathetic. Okay? He would get excited about, this program that he would had with this one particular company. They have these little corporate fusions that I don't know, whatever. You know what? I want a company that I can make a company strong. Okay? I want to be able to contribute my skills to build into a company. If I can't have my own company, then I want to work for a company where we're going to actually do something. Okay, because I'm 54 years old. I don't have time to fuck around with trying to figure out what's going to happen to me. Okay, I'm tired of getting the short end of the stick, is what I'm saying. Okay, and nobody's planning my future except for me, and it's bullshit. It's bullshit, and that goes for anybody who has been put in this situation. Okay, this man has done a lot of damage. Okay, he calls himself helping the white race. He just fucking, like I said, he fucked up their fucking supply. Okay, when you fuck with the women, you're fucking with the supply. This did not have this whole thing thought out well. But I'll tell you why he didn't think it out well. Because everything was driven by compulsion. The need to win. Okay? This dude was out of control. Out of control. Okay? But I still, at this point, in this time, I do say, God rest his soul. I'm going to wrap up this video, and I'll be back with another video sometime later. Take care.